Okay, now let's come back to Babaji. Today is his birthday. He was born in AD 203, I'm sorry, 203 AD. That's approximately 1815 years back. You can't even imagine. 18 days back. He was born 1815 years back. Initially, I wanted to do something special for his birthday. And I had two options. One was to give you his life story. And the other was to get a message from him. Well, he sanctioned both. but compiling his life story will take me some time, because there are certain things I know already, certain things I don't, which I'll have to compile, or I'll have to get him to tell me, which will take a little time. I had actually very short time in between. So that his life story, maybe for the next Guru Purnima, I will do one bit on that. And though some snippets of his life are on the internet, at least the genuine pages. But I'll get the authentic version from him and give it to you. No, I don't think we can keep it put in a book unless he gives the permission to do that. But let's see. At least I'll give you the story verbally next Guru Purnima. But anyway, he has sent a message, and that message is so beautiful and so powerful that I was amazed. Now, as you know, his messages come in cryptic sentences. They're not pages and pages of it. He just writes a line, a few words, and then he wants me to sit in meditation and expand on it. So what I'm going to do to make it very interesting for you, I'll read his cryptic message, and I'll also tell you what he means by it, because otherwise you'll say, oh, big deal, I knew it. But that's not all. The cryptic messages are only for me to expand on later and explain to you what they are. So I will read his cryptic messages and also explain to you. Okay. Now, since this was a birthday message, I think he's somewhere spoken about age. So his message is like this: nothing is temporary or permanent. Anything is possible. These are all separate messages. I'll combine it and make sense for you. Anything is possible. Don't feel you become old as you are aging. Aging is just your first clothes, skin, and not you. You continue your journey again, you become young again, and again you become old. So nothing is permanent. Now I'll make more sense out of it. And the last line is, you are just you. Nothing is temporary or permanent. See the beauty of this sentence. We all know nothing is permanent. Everything changes all the time. Every moment things are changing. Whether it is your age, your body, your mind, you think differently every day. Everything changes in the material world. Your wealth, your prosperity, your relationships, your feelings. Nothing is permanent. Nothing is temporary. Now, how do you define that? I mean, if nothing is permanent, then everything is temporary. But he's saying nothing is temporary. You know what he means by nothing is temporary? This nothing is the void, the source. That is the nothingness that he's referring to. That's not temporary. That's the only thing that is permanent. So in one case he's saying nothing is permanent, means there is nothing in this universe that is permanent. And on the other side he's saying nothing, that nothing from which everything comes, is temporary. Then he says, anything is possible. When he says anything is possible, it is you. With you. Anything is possible. Do not feel that something is beyond you. Something is outside of you, outside your scope. Anything is possible. You have to just realize the potential that you have. Do not limit yourself. What he's trying to say is do not limit yourself with a thought or a proposition that, oh, this is impossible. It cannot happen. It is not applicable to me. It is not possible by me. Do not limit yourself with that. Then the crux of the message is, don't feel you become old as you are aging. You know what that means? It means aging and growing old are two different things. Aging is a biological process. Because we have physical bodies which have hormones, chemicals, cells, perishable cells. We age. We can't stop that. That goes on. But that doesn't mean you have to grow old. Because these are two different things. Aging is an involuntary process which is performed by your body because your body can only deteriorate because of certain hormonal qualities or chemical qualities, biological qualities. But you do not need to grow old because of that. What is aging is your physical body, not you. Now this is where you have to distinguish between your body and your soul. Your body ages, fine, of course it will. But your body is like clothes. That's what he says. Your first line of clothes, like a skin, like how you have skin. So these clothes, well, you wear them for some time, they grow old, they start wearing off, you throw them away. The body is just like that for the soul. You have a body, it grows old, it dies, you come back with a fresh body, a new body. Again, you go through the process, you grow old, and you discard that. That's why he says nothing is permanent. Everything is transitory, everything passes, everything has to pass and become the has been, including your physical body. Now the question arises that he says that, but his body doesn't deteriorate. We can barely live for 80, 100 years. He lives for 1,850 years. So you say, oh, easy for him to say that. But I'm going to die at 80, 85, 100 maybe. You know, there is a process. And believe me, it's scientific. There's so much science in it. There's a process by which you can discover how to get a body, a physical body, that does not age, that does not deteriorate. Do you know it's there in you? In potential, it is there in you. You have not tapped the potential. You do not know the science, nor do you have the ability, the knowledge to let that non-deteriorating body erupt from you and shed the deteriorating body. It is a science. It is a technique. He is one of those rare cases we know. Means there may be more who have done it, but we don't know about them. He is one of the rare cases whose knowledge, whom we have knowledge of, that has activated this. It's like how a child has milk teeth, right? They come out first, they fall, and then the permanent teeth come in, right? But they're all there. They're all in the mouth when the child is born. I mean, no fairy comes and brings them. There's no tooth fairies that bring the other teeth. Like that, we have that kind of potential in our body. We don't know how to work this science. Maybe it will become scientific 100, 200, 500 years from now. Who knows? Right now, we don't know it. But these highly evolved souls, like Babaji, they know the science of it. It's a very simple analogy I'll give you, which is what a lot of people ask me, and you know, when I tell them that my guru is approximately 2,000 years old, they say, okay, now enough of this. Like, I mean, there is a limit to what we can believe. I mean, don't stretch it. Tell us anything you want, but don't talk nonsense. Not realizing that there is a science. I mean, it's not, I'm not talking from the top of my head. And I'll give you an analogy which will convince you that there is a science to it. You know how the caterpillar becomes a butterfly. We all know caterpillars become butterflies. So butterfly is a caterpillar before that. Where the scientific principle is the same. But scientists have still not discovered how the butterfly in potential is there before the caterpillar. Before it becomes a butterfly. They'll tell you, yes, it will become. When the time is right, it will break out of its louvre or whatever it is, and it will fly off as a beautiful butterfly. But exactly what takes place, how the transformation takes place, science doesn't know. It's like that. So we are caterpillars now. I'm sorry to say you may be very beautiful, but you're still a caterpillar. And you can become a butterfly. If you know how to. This is not something that will happen as a consequence of nature. It has to be worked upon. It has to be triggered off, I suppose. I don't know. So don't come and ask me. In case you have any plans to live for 2000 years. And then he said the last part of his message, which is really very, very beautiful. Whenever anyone asks you, who are you? You are nothing but your tejas and manas. You are nothing but intelligence and your emotions. This is a very beautiful thing. You know, I mean, every spiritual aspirant really struggles with this question, who am I? Where do I exist? What is the real me? I mean, any intelligent person will tell you that you're not the body. It doesn't take much intelligence for that. Okay, so then you will say, oh yeah, I'm the soul or I'm the astral, subtle body. But the astral body, subtle body is also a body. It is a skin. It's a layer of a skin. What are you beyond that? Where do you lie beyond that? So you'll say, oh, I'm the soul, because you know everyone knows the word. But what exactly is that? Nobody's seen it. Nobody's touched it. Nobody's felt it, tasted it. So what are you really? You are manas and tejas. You know what that means? It means you are that intelligence, that consciousness. Because the intelligence will stem from consciousness. And your tejas, meaning your light. That's what your soul is really, light. What we call the divine spark of the Creator. Because that is what then is enveloped by the various layers of subtle bodies and physical body and whatever. So you are tejas. That is a light which exists within you. So this identification with the body is so limited and false. That's why he says, that ages. Of course the physical body ages. But you don't need to grow old. You are manas. You are intelligence. And intelligence doesn't grow old. Light doesn't grow old. Has light ever grown old? No, it cannot. Can intelligence grow old? No, it cannot. Consciousness cannot grow old. So know who you are. That's what he's trying to say. You are you. And that you is the consciousness that you have, the light that you are. Everything else is temporary. That is permanent. That will remain. That will not end. Everything else will end. Everything else will change. But the consciousness that you are and the light you hold within you, that is not going to change. That is not going to age. And that is not going to die. The physical body will die. Of course it will. The astral body you may shed. But the spark remains. The light within you, the tejas remains. The manas remains. And if you have tejas and manas, means you have emotions. That's what distinguishes you. So your emotions remain, in other words. So you are your consciousness, your emotions, and your light. Everything else will fall away. It will age, but you need not grow old. When you think that growing old is a natural consequence, yes, you will grow old and you will feel miserable. And your body will deteriorate twice as fast as it should. Though the body will deteriorate at some point of time, because that's biological. But you can slow the whole process down considerably if you identify yourself more as consciousness and light. You don't have to feel that, oh my God, I'm just growing old and I'm aging and I'm slowly becoming deformed and useless. No need for that. Or crack the secret of how to remain forever. Even that is in you. As I said, that's within you. It's a potential that any human being can tap if they can crack the code. And someday scientists may crack the code, who knows, if they do enough research. So right now his main thrust of his message is, let aging take place, you don't grow old. And identify yourself as consciousness, as emotions, as light, not as the physical body. That will change a lot of things within you. A lot of concepts will change, a lot of perceptions will change, a lot of your traumas will go. If you only identify with what is permanent and not temporary. So this is the thrust of his message. This is the extended version.